down the hammer and pick up the pencil. You're about to listen to the Savvy Radio Show. Learn from real-life real estate investors, experience revealed with the savvy landlord as your host.
Thanks for tuning back in to part 2 of I have a few questions for commercial real estate. Hopefully the last episode, if it didn't impact you, I don't know, you might need to listen to it again, which was really cool. I was actually chatting with somebody else the other day, and they said, hey, man, I listened to how to find a broker, how to have a meeting with a broker several times before I met with that broker, and I never got heard back on how that meeting went. But that's the whole goal of the podcast, is for you to grow, to take what you need, get nuggets, and actually take action. I think that's the most important thing. You've taken action by listening to this part 2 of the commercial real estate questions from Homeboy. So I hopefully that you continue to grow, write questions, email them in, or contact me. And the more you ask, the more you learn, the more you grow, the more you make. It's pretty simple, but you got to do it. Ding, ding. Thanks for tuning in to the Savvy Radio Show. This is your friend, Steve VanCauwenbergh, in the airwaves, Oklahoma City, living life. Anyway, so the first question had like 4 questions. In the first question, we already covered those. Now I'm on to number 2 of what my friend asked me. He goes, what area of commercial real estate has the most opportunity for fast growth financially? Well, again, the coach in me always just overanalyzes questions that people ask, not a negative way, because I just want to find out what's the true meaning behind your question, or, what's going on there. And, if you noticed, if you look at the other question number 1, he had another word in here called, what's the fastest investment to achieve cash flow? Number 2, what are the areas of real estate has the most fast growth? Well, here's the deal, man. There is no fast growth in wealth. I mean, there can be. I think commercial real estate in itself is fast because you could do one deal and it's 10 times a single family or 5 times a single family, what we talked about the last episode. So first of all, my advice for you real quick, right out the gate, slow to flip down. Like, the fast growth is you learning and growing more. That's the fastest way you can do it. The soonest you become educated, the soonest you get your bearings and confidence is the fastest that you're going to grow. Okay. But anyway, I'll answer this question. Along the same lines, what are the riskiest investments in commercial real estate? This all depends on your personality. Okay. Me personally, I like flex space, which would be warehouse space, single tenant space that I can deal with that one individual. Commercial is considered apartments, and there's multiple tenants, which would require more property management. So for one, risk could be dealing with 20 tenants or 50 tenants or 100 tenants, or 2, dealing with 1 tenant. But the risk is they both could be $1 million asset or a $500,000 asset, and they both have the same stress and risk, but dealing with 20 tenants or dealing with 1 tenant. So what's the riskiest? Again, it's you. It's what you can handle. Do you like talking to people? Do you like managing an asset? Can you handle a big bill of a $30,000 heat and air? Or you got 20 AC units and they're $5,000 a piece. Can you handle a little bit at a time? I think that's the level of risk. I think getting into a boutique, 4-unit, 12-unit apartment complex has lower risk than going into a 100-unit apartment complex. It all boils down to what's your propensity for risk. And so something that's riskier to someone else is by far easier for others. And some people think that way about land. I used to think that way about land. Some people think that way about apartments. Some people think about that way with office space. Now, I think that way about office space because of the pandemic, and people are becoming remote, and office space is not necessary for businesses to succeed. And if you had a Class A space and all of a sudden you're Southwest Airlines and you have, 100 employees come into your office building, and next thing you know, they're all at home and you really don't need that office space, I think that's risky. And so you have to look at it individually. What's the market looking like? And I think, my mentor told me the other day about cannabis in Oklahoma. Cannabis, it's easy. It's $2,500 to get your license. And, they're renting out all the commercial space right now. It's dominating, right? People are getting double, triple for an office space a warehouse space that was, no one wanted to touch it. Well, my mentor told me, he said, hey man, you might want to just rethink about that, building those type of buildings or really getting into that space, because in the next 3 years or so, the cannabis people are coming and they have big, deep pockets and they could just build their own building and they don't need you. So you can get wiped out in that space. Well, again, I may have just created fear in your mind. Well, that doesn't make sense. Every opportunity is right now. What can you deal with what you have? Can you hold on to that asset for a length of time? Can you take a loss on that asset and move on? And so you just have to look at it individually, what you're trying to do. And of course, I would just start small, do something that's within comfortability for you. And then the next one, do a little bit bigger. The next one, do a little bit bigger. All right. Number 3 question. What are the 3 most important things I need to be doing to grow in commercial real estate? Who do I need to spend my time with and partner with? Oh, okay. That's a pretty open question. And so I'll just real quick wrap off what I would do. Number 1, I would read as much as I could. I would know the language and I would know the terms, because you're handicapped. If you can't communicate this business and know what an LP is and what a KP is and all these terminologies that you kind of need to know, it's just like working in an accounting firm. If you don't know GAAP accounting or you don't know what accrual accounting is, it's mute. So the first thing that I would do, I would just try to get immersed in as much education as I can on Amazon, Audible, the library. And then I would just every day call someone new. It's like one of those things where, learn a new word every day, right? There's services, emails, or a quote a day. You might want to have a time in your calendar. Hey, I'm going to call a commercial somebody and grow from them. Ask them one question or ask them a simple question. What's one thing that I need to know? And, you might hear that over and over, but whatever it is. And then here's the cool thing. If you call that person, guess what you're doing? You're building a relationship. No, regardless of what they think of you, that doesn't matter. The goal for you is to be educated as possible. In the beginning, you might feel like a flim-flam, insecure, not knowing what you're doing. But in 3 years, 5 years, 2 years, 6 months, you'll be dominating. And if you heard my podcast a couple of podcasts ago, I feel like it takes 6 months to, if you immerse yourself into something, maybe it be a foreign language or commercial real estate or Airbnb or corporate housing, whatever the case may be, I think you have enough understanding to move forward. And after that 6 months, let go. And I think that the situation with this person right here, he's just excited. I get it. And he wants to move as fast as possible, but you're going to get a train wreck. In this business, in commercial, now I'm not an expert, but I just slow down and deals will come and they will explode for you and you'll do very well. So read is the first one. Number 2 is get involved with a broker, of many brokers as possible. Go to luncheons, take people out to lunch, ask for referrals, ask one of your gangster real estate investors, hey man, what broker do you use? Build relationships, get on LoopNet, look for brokers, look for common threads. I mean, it's fascinating how many brokers come out of the woodwork and they're all over the place. The other day I got an email from an investor, hey man, would you mind looking at this for me? I'd never even heard of that broker before. And so I think that's just the nuance of commercial real estate. There's a lot going on and you're new to the game, you don't know. Just like there's thousands of real estate agents, you don't know. Until you don't know, you need to start moving forward and start listening and growing and building a relationship with a broker. That's number 2. Number 3, learn to analyze a deal. Now, I've just talked about this 1,000 times, probably in every podcast. You got to look at 100 deals. That's so true. You've got to analyze them. And the way I analyze them is totally different than the way you analyze them, because what are my parameters? Where am I going? What land am I looking at? What cash flow do I want? Do I want to park money? Do I want to flip money? Do I want to keep it going? Do I want to, do a passive investment opportunity for other investors? Do I want to use my own money? Do I want to leverage money? Do I have money? So the thing is, all those aspects go into analyzing deals. So you're going to have to practice analyzing deals. Why does it make a deal? It's real simple with apartments in my mind. If it's 10 units and they're selling the property for $500,000, you break that down, it's $50,000 a unit, right? 10 times 50 is 500. Now, I know for a fact that a $50,000 unit just quickly should yield $800 a month. Simply because you have cost, mortgage, vacancy, property managed, trash, parking, utilities, landscaping, okay? So it's got to make money. That's the great thing about commercial real estate. It's got to make money. Like, it's not residential. It's a different mindset. And so that's how you analyze deals. You know, it's quick and you can move on. You know, is it in a path of progress? What's your take on it? What's the highest and best use? And you have to run all those things through how to analyze a deal. So learn how to analyze a deal. Number 3. So that's the top 3. And I have 3 more to give you. So read, broker, learn to analyze. Number 4, find a mentor. Pretty simple, right? It's not simple. It's not easy. It's taken a long time, and it's a skill to find someone to help you. And you just have to keep, just like finding a deal. There's someone out there that has your personality type or that could receive your personality type. Be willing to serve, be willing to work for free, just so you can have an opportunity to hang out with that individual. Whatever it takes. 20-something years ago, I rode with my mentor for free. I mean, I guess I didn't pay him and he didn't pay me. 22 years later, I'm successful because of my mentor. I'm indebted to my mentor. I've never paid my mentor. But man, when that dude calls me up and he sends me 60 properties, can you analyze these for me? Absolutely. 4 hours of labor for free. Didn't get a dime out of the deal. Didn't get a part of the transaction out of the deal. But it was worth it to me. I got to analyze those deals. Curious to see how they went down. It was a situation that someone was going under, a friend of his, and he had the opportunity to acquire that portfolio. And I was like, how could I get involved? But I just gave him my analysis. He was so thankful, and we moved down the road. And every time I call him, he answers my call because I'm willing to serve that individual. Find that person. Be that person to somebody else. There's somebody in your market that you may have 4 or 5 or 10 units, 20 units. Mentor someone else. And then maybe get them to leverage that individual to help you. It should be a win-win mentorship in life. I know when I mentor someone, I tend to grow through that process. They ask me questions that motivate me to get my crap together, and you should do the same. So number 4 would be mentor. Number 5, put in offers. Like, seriously, like, get your panties on, do an LOI. If you don't know what an LOI is, it's probably not the podcast for you. Letter of intent. Start putting in offers. Find a broker that will do that for you. And if they won't, move on. You say, Mr. VanCauwenbergh, I don't have any money. Well, if the deal's good enough, the money will be there. I know you've heard that before. It's true. I know it from reality. You can wholesale that deal. You can assign that deal. You can partner with somebody. And then he asks that question too. Number 6, he asks, who do I need to be spending my time with? Well, I just mentioned that mentor. And who should I be partnering with? Well, you should be partnering with as many people as you can. If you're completely new, green, don't know a dang thing, shoot. And you have no money, even better. You can find a deal and do 50-50 with somebody, or 60-40 or 70-40. I don't know. You can go get private money. Partner with as many people as possible. Maybe be in a relationship. Maybe be in a business transaction. Someone's willing to work with you, work with them until it gets to a certain degree where you feel uncomfortable. If they won't sign an agreement, but, absolutely partner with anyone that you can find, or you lead, or you find someone else to lead. But here's the thing. If I'm going to partner with somebody in general, you probably need to be the leader in the group. Okay. When you're a passive and you don't know what you're doing, you maybe have a tendency to get burned. But if you come in with the right mindset that you're learning and growing, and I went through a lot of wholesale deals in the beginning, 20-something years ago, and I lost money. I didn't really lose money. I learned through that process. I could have made money because I didn't know what I was doing, but that's okay. Where am I at today through that process was worth every aspect, every strength of me to endure that. And number 4, it says, how do I narrow in my focus of apartments, commercial buildings, land developments? Hey man, that's all on you. As I mentioned in the last podcast, you're going to have to dip your toe in something and just commit to something. It's maybe not your major definite purpose. Apartments may not be your major definite purpose. So in this commercial class that I'm teaching right now, it's a kind of a unique process that I've kind of working on developing. We're meeting twice a week. We have accountability. We're just killing it. And we have random speakers come outside of me because, like, I don't know it all, right? I wish I did, but I don't. And I want to be the provider of the best service possible. They're willing to pay for this class, and I want to give it 110%. And so it was interesting. The last two people that came and spoke, one was a broker and one was an extremely successful real estate investor for 20 something years. I mean, this dude's killing it. They didn't like apartments. Would they buy them? Sure. But they didn't like them. They didn't really pursue them, and they had no interest in them. Fascinating in the world of commercial real estate investing. So how do I narrow your focus? It's on you. Hey, if you're really excited about apartments, that's what everyone else says. Man, that may not be for you. That's the train that I moved forward and started acquiring apartments. I enjoy apartments to a certain degree, and at my point in my career, it's not my main focus. One reason is that they're overpriced. It's like I was looking into mobile homes pretty heavy, buying mobile home parks, putting offers in on mobile home parks, and people would just outbid me from California. And I'm like, good luck, buddy. These are tin cans. And when repairs need to happen, get ready to fork over. And I had, I thought I had an advantage. I'm local. I had really good labor, some great technicians. I thought I can get that done. And they just outbidded me. Hey, I'm out of that space for a while. So I think you could just look at every opportunity and does it fit within where you're at mentally, financially, and what you're willing to work hard on. I definitely would not focus on something that you have no passion for or experience. If you're a single family guy, yeah, apartments make sense. If you want to get into commercial buildings, let's say warehouses or industrial or similar, I would definitely recommend getting your education on. Land development, damn. I got in and got out real fast. There's a lot to learn in that game. It's a wonderful game. It's a very slow game. You really need to have a mentor, someone that you can call on a regular basis. And what is it like that to them? And it's interesting. There's a wonderful point in land development. You can buy it pretty reasonably priced. You could turn around and sell it on terms. It could be a wonderful cash flow. You could sit on some land and it could appreciate threefold in a short amount of time, meaning 3, 5, 10 years. If you have that type of cash and the type of patience, land development may be for you. So that doesn't answer your question. Sorry, homeboy. You're going to have to figure all that out yourself. I am proud of you for asking these questions. And you, listener, you should do the same. Ask questions. Find a mentor. Get a hold of me. Go to savvyinvestors.com. And I would love to hear from you. If this impacted you in any way, or you have a suggestion, or you want to do some sort of business or partnership or whatever, holler at your boy, savvyinvestors.com. But hey, whatever you do, what are you going to do? Try to go buy an asset.
Thanks for listening to the Savvy Radio Show. Glide online and listen to our other motivating episodes at savvyradioshow.com. Connect on Twitter at LandlordBook and always be buying assets.